Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about sniping in ARMA 3 and what that looks like. We're not going to be talking about vanilla sniping because it's actually pretty easy. You just use your scroll wheel and you can put it up to even 3,000 meters and make a shot. We're going to be talking about sniping with mods, and particularly the ACE mod and how to actually do that. So I'm here on the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment Ghost Platoon's marksman range, sniping range. We have everything from 100 to 2,200 meter targets set up so that we can practice our weapons and and do all the stuff that we try to do in the Ghost platoon. So a few things that you need to understand that when you're sniping, there's a couple things that you have to do. You have to know your weapon system, your bullet, uh, the bullets you use or the rounds you use, and your scope, and along with some certain equipment that you're going to need. So if you are shooting anywhere from say 100 to say 4 to 500 meters, I would say just use a DMR. And there's a ton of good DMRs out there. There's some good DMRs in vanilla ARMA. There's also some good in the modded community. So find you a DMR that you're comfortable with and use that to shoot. But if you're shooting for long range stuff, that I would say from about 500 to about 1,500 meters, we're going to be using. I think the actual one of the better long range snipers is the M200 Intervention. It's a vanilla ARMA weapon system. It's a great weapon system. It's really good for long distances. But today we're going to be using the M107 from RHS. It's to me, it's my favorite weapon system. I love it, and you could get pretty deadly with it if you practice. Well, I say between 500 and 1,500 because anything above 1,500, it's realistic and you could do it and it's a lot of fun. But the distance between you and your team, especially if you're shooting in a multiplayer map or even anything like that where you have a team, you don't want to be 1,500 meters from any team at any time because just in case you get surrounded or you need to come down and help them, that's a long hike across the country, 1,500 meters. I would say you want to stay around anywhere between 600 to 1,000 meters. So today we're going to be shooting from 800-meter range, 800 meters out. That's a good place to sit down and really, find you a hide and really shoot from. Just for the simple reason that if it all goes sideways down on the ground, your ground guys can push back to you and you can give them support, or you can still shoot guys from a distance and they not know where you are. Because the key to sniping is you're there to support the ground forces as they move in. So let's talk about our weapon systems that we're going to use today. We're going to use, like I said, the M107. It's in the RHS pack. It's a great one, and I have a lot of weapons, so we're going to have to find it real quick. Let's see. There it is. M107. That's what it looks like. Most people call it the Barrett 50 cal. We all know what it looks like. And so then I like to choose a certain scope. There's a ton of good scopes out there, so you need to find a scope that you're comfortable with that you like to use. I like the Ace scopes. The Ace scope's a really good one. I use the LRPS PIP Ace 3 scope, this one right here. It has a variable zoom on it so that you can really zoom in and take a look at what you're shooting at and take a look at your target. Now, the next big thing that you have to choose for this weapon system is the rounds. The rounds are very important. For distance and all that. So when you're looking at the rounds, what you want to choose is if you want to use the M33s, those are great rounds. But I like to use the AMAX. They have a little bit more punch to it and they can fly a little farther than the M33s. So we'll get rid of those and we'll grab these AMAXs right here. I'll grab 5 magazines. We're not going to use all that, but just in case we need it. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to need now that we have the weapon system that we want, the scope that we want, and the rounds is we're going to need just a few things in equipment wise. You're going to have to go down to binoculars, look at your binoculars. You're going to want to have the Vector 21s. I like to use the Vector 21 nights for night missions and in general because it has night vision. So make sure you have the Vector 21s. There's also the ones from RHS, the Vector 21Bs, but let's just go with the Vector 21 nights. This is what we're going to use. Okay, the next few things that we're going to need, and these are really important pieces of equipment that every good sniper needs in ARMA. You're going to need the A-Track MX. This is a weapon system that's good right here, and you just click it over once, and then you got it. Okay, something else you're going to need is going to be down here so you can tell your wind. It's called the Kessler 4500 NV. It's for like your testing your wind and the direction of your wind, so you're going to need that. And last but not least, you're going to need a range card. Okay, now that we have everything set up, we'll close it out and we'll take a look at it. Okay, we want to make sure, see right now we have the M33 balls in. We want to make sure that we put our AMAX rounds in because that's what we're shooting. Okay, now that we have the AMAX rounds in, let's take a look at what we got here. Now, one of the few things we need to do before we get putting stuff in, we need to check the weather and see if there's a wind and what direction the wind's coming from. So let's take that. How you do that is you press left shift and K. Left shift and K. You see in the top left corner of my screen, you see a circle come up. If I go out here, it's like, all right, you see that? So it tells you where the wind's coming from if I was shooting from this distance here. Okay, and however I turn, that's where the wind's going to blow from. But we're going to go back to 800. I just want to show you guys that real quick. A couple things you need to do. Make sure you pull up your Kessler. I'm at your A-Tracks first. Okay, and you're looking at your A-Tracks. This is the most important thing. You want to make sure you have the right round right up here. If you don't know how to find your round, you can go through inventory to do it, but the easiest way to do it is pull up your range card. At the top of your range card, it'll be the bullet that's actually chambered in the gun and ready to shoot. That'll be it right there. Now there's a few ways that you can get all this stuff pulled up. You can go through your ACE menu and go under equipment, and you can pull all this different stuff up right here like this, or you can go through and go to configure add-ons and set them as keybinds, whichever one's easier for you. I have them set as keybinds because I use them a lot. So now that we know this is in, but how you get this right here, it just doesn't show up. You have to go down to gun list and you have to find the rounds. Every round that's used in ARMA is in this list right. So we know that we're using the AMAX, so we'll click on it and then click open gun, and it should be right there. Perfect. See, if I switch it, it'll change it. See, I switched it to the 408 Shaytek 305 grain. So let's switch it back to the AMAX because that's what we're shooting today. Okay, so now we have that pulled up there. Pull our Vector 21s, and on this range, 0 is 800 meters. Let's take a look down our through our binoculars. Okay, so that's 800 meters, and how we know this is we press R and T on our keyboard inside the Vector at the same time, and it'll bring it up. See, it's 801 meters away, that target there. Now, just to double check, bring up your Kessler, make sure it says 801 right there, and it does, so we're good to go. Now, before we do anything else, just go ahead and lay down, get you a good shooting platform. Go ahead and drop your tripod and get online and get ready to shoot. Now, you want to bring up your Kessler and you want to put it on user screen 1. There's a lot of different stuff that you could do, that you could go in here, but just go to user screen 1 right there. Okay. Now that's open there. Now you bring back up your A-Tracks. And so you go in here and you go to target. User screen 1 goes to target. Now, what you're looking for is your wind speed, which is your M and S. It's 0, 0. So because there's no wind speed right here where we are. So boom. Okay, there's 0, 0. There we go. Now, the clock is this up here. Like I showed you when I ran out, we had wind coming in from our rear. If that wind it was here and we could see that, we would put that our wind direction was coming from our 6 right here. But it's not, so we don't have any wind, and you can't place it on 0, so just place it on 1 when you have no wind. That's all you have to do in this section here. You click done, and now we got to figure out the atmosphere. Okay, so bring your Kessler back up, go to user screen 2. Okay, right here, you got to put all these values into your atmosphere. So our temperature is Celsius, 15 degrees, 15 degrees. Our millibars is 1013. Here it says it's 1.2.9. So anything that's 6, so when you're looking at this, it's like rounding up fractions. So if it's 6, if it's 0.6 to 0.9, you just round it up to the next number, 3. 0.1 to 0.5, you keep at that number. So if this number was 1.1012.4, I would put 1012 here. If it's 1012.9, I round up to 1013. Our humidity is 0, 0, so we don't have to deal with that. So click done. Okay, so what we're looking for now is these two values right here, elevation and our wind direction. So our elevation is 5.18. Our scope, we can't do 0.18, so like I said, we have to round that up. So we're going to put our scope at 5.12. 5.2 is what we're going to put it at. 5.2. All right, so how do you do that, you ask? Well, I'm fixing to show you. Well, if you press shift and page up or down, you'll see it moving right there. So we know it's 5.2 is what we're going to put it on. So we go to 5, let go of shift and push page up again till you get to 5.2. So that's set. Now, bring your A-Tracks back up. Make sure that's correct. Okay, now we're going to need to do wind at 0.19 L, so which is left. So what we're going to do is going to do 0.2 left, 0.2 left. So in this one, you hit left control, point up, left, or page up, page down. Point. Say it's 0.2 L. Double check that. Make sure. Yep. So we should be good. So our scope should be zeroed in for that mark. Okay. See if we can hit the target. We see there's no wind here where we are, but there is wind at the target 800 meters away. As you can see, our target hit here. So we know that. So if we want to take another shot, we just pull it this way a little bit, shoot again, and we hit it every time. So there you go. So remember, this is a video game, and this is ARMA. And so you can do everything right, but the game can still mess you up. So don't get frustrated. Be patient. Take your shot. And if you miss, readjust real quick. see where you're hit at, and readjust and take the shot again. I suggest anybody taking 700 meters or over shots, you're going to need a spotter. I know that's not conducive to certain players, but if you can, have a spotter. And what a spotter does is they lay down next to you and they walk you onto the shot. Because, like I said, it is ARMA. It might throw you a little left or throw you a little right, and you have to walk it back on in case you don't see it. It's just another set of eyes shooting at your target. So, let's see if we can go out and hit 2,200 meters. All right, 2,200 meters. Let's see if we can hit it. Let's get a fresh mag in. So 5 rounds in the AMAX. Let's make sure that we have the right round in. We do. Okay, perfect. Can't even hardly see that out there. Let's see if I can see it with my scope. All right, let's see if we can do 2,100. For some reason, that's not popping up. There's our target at 2,100 meters. Let's go ahead and get into our shooting position, make it good and stable, drop our tripod, and let's put our values in now. Nothing's changed, still no wind where we are, so everything's good there. Let's check our next value. Okay, everything looks the same. It does. We hit done. Okay, 2504. So we're just going to put it on 25 even is what we're looking for. 25 even. Okay, so that's on there. Let's check our win 0.71. So just 0.7 L is what we're going to put it on. Okay, so we are all set up. Let's take our first shot. Looked like it hit a little behind it. Like I said, got everything right, but it is ARMA, and this is a very long shot. So let's try it again. There we go. Like I said, just be patient and you should be able to make your shot. Like I said, 2,100 meters is a really far shot. In reality, in this game, you probably shouldn't be trying to take shots like that unless you're just going for a record or something like that. So, uh, remember, it's all about having the right weapon system with the right scope and the right round. and putting in the right stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.